Most people think they understand what it means to be seriously injured. They picture a cast, a brace, maybe a scar from a surgery. But the truth is, when someone suffers a catastrophic injury, their entire life is split into two parts: before and after. I want to talk about what that after really looks like. Not the medical terms, not the paperwork, the human reality, the part that is almost impossible to prepare for. Perhaps the hardest part of the experience following a severe injury is the constant physical pain. I think it is certainly the top of the pyramid that cascades down levels of your new reality. We all experience pain differently, but when we experience it and it's constant, as is typically the case following a bad injury, it can't help but become the focus of your new life. You can't turn it off. Modern medicine can only do so much to relieve it, and the consequences of the medical care can be harmful. Addiction, side effects. When you're catastrophically injured, you don't just lose mobility or strength, you lose trust in your own body. Movements that used to be automatic, standing up, walking across a room, lifting your child, they are now painful, slow, or maybe impossible to perform. Every day begins in a body that feels unfamiliar. You're reminded with every step or every limitation that something was taken from you. And even when you're doing everything right, therapy, appointments, exercises, progress is slow, sometimes painfully slow. It's your new reality. People see the bandages in the hospital stay. What they don't see is everything that comes after: the months or years of physical therapy, the follow up surgeries, the injections, the scans, the medications, the days you can't get out of bed because the pain is too much, mental health decline, the voice in your head telling you your life is over or you're worthless, a burden on your family and friends. Your calendar stops being yours. It belongs to doctors, specialists, and rehab schedules. And every appointment is a reminder of the life that you used to have. You may need help getting dressed, help bathing, help getting to the bathroom, help driving, help doing the simplest things you never thought twice about. And even when the people around you are loving and supportive, it still hurts to need that help. It changes how you see yourself. It changes how you move through the world. Catastrophic injury doesn't just break the body, it breaks the financial stability people work their whole lives to build. You may be out of work for months or permanently. Bills don't pause. Rent doesn't pause. The need for food and nourishment doesn't pause. And while you're trying to figure out how to heal, you're also trying to figure out how to keep the lights on. It's a pressure most people can't imagine until they're living it. There's a grief that comes with catastrophic injury. Not just grief for the pain, but grief for the life you had, the hobbies you loved, the routines you relied on, the version of yourself that felt strong, capable, and free. You feel frustrated, angry, hopeless. You feel like a burden. You feel isolated, even when surrounded by the people who care about you. And then there's the fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear that this is as good as it gets. Injury doesn't just happen to you, it happens to everyone around you. Partners become caregivers, children become helpers, family dynamics shift overnight. People try to be strong for each other, but the stress is real, the exhaustion is real, the emotional weight is real. And sometimes the hardest part is watching the people you love struggle because of what happened to you. A catastrophic injury forces you to rebuild your identity from the ground up. You're no longer the athlete, the trusted employee, the successful business owner, the parent who could do everything, the person who never needed help. You're someone learning to navigate a new reality, one you never asked for. And that process takes time. It takes patience. It takes compassion for yourself. It takes acknowledging that something was taken from you and that rebuilding doesn't happen overnight. If you're living this right now, I want you to hear this. What you're feeling is real. What you're carrying is heavy, and none of this is your fault. You didn't choose this. You didn't cause this, but you're the one living with the consequences every day. You deserve support. You deserve understanding, and you deserve a path forward that honors everything you've lost and everything you're trying to rebuild. Your human loss is real. It has meaning, and it has value, real value. Thank you for watching.